Hey, it's Jack from Jackie, the Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. So I had a great video set up for today. I had a great question on getting started in social media. I had a package we were going to open up, but forget about that. We have big news. We'll have to do this story tomorrow or that video tomorrow because we have big news. Just one day after I made this video, which came out yesterday, let's see if we can bring it up on the screen here. The NAR settlement trap, right? I posted that yesterday, the NAR settlement trap. And apparently on Tuesday in Boston, I can't believe I missed this because I was also in Boston on Tuesday, but for another reason, I had different business altogether. But apparently on Tuesday, the Department of Justice dropped kind of a hint about what they're thinking here with the no select MLS pin case, the NAR settlement, and how this is all going to shake up or shake out, I should say. DOJ offers agent compensation should not be made anywhere. Let me say that again. DOJ offers of agent compensation should not be made anywhere. So if you haven't been following along, the proposed NAR settlement, which I still don't think that's going to be, I was just talking to somebody at my neighborhood the other day. I still don't think that's going to be the final thing. But in that statement, in that settlement, you can make an offer of compensation. You just can't put it on the MLS. And I think the confusion, or maybe I should say the opportunity to make that settlement, came from misreading or purposely misreading page 20 or 21 of the DOJ statement of interest in the Nosalik case, where under item C, an alternative injunction would better serve the class. To address the competitive problem alleged by the plaintiffs, the settling parties should agree to an injunction that prohibits, in italicized letters, offers of buyer compensation by MLS PIN participants. MLS PIN, by the way, is the MLS that dominates Massachusetts, probably has 80% of all the listings. And it does not say on MLS PIN, it says by MLS PIN participants, which, if the plain weirding of that is, it means not only on the MLS, but anywhere else. So what they're really saying in this comment that they made in court on Tuesday is, I think they're clarifying this statement, which I flagged a couple of weeks or months ago, actually, that the people that wrote the NAR settlement were kind of running fast and loose with this difference. There's a difference between by MLS PIN participants and on the MLS, right? So the NAR settlement allows you to cooperate with commissions off MLS. But what the DOJ is trying to tell you is you shouldn't be doing it at all. It literally says by MLS. All right, so we killed that point. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you doing it, which is what Reese Media reported yesterday. And let's give them entire credit for the original reporting on this. I do not subscribe to Reese Media. I can't subscribe to everything. There we go. That's better. Can't subscribe to everything. But apparently they went to the courthouse on Tuesday and heard the attorney for the Department of Justice, Jessica Leal, something like that. And if you read it, this was posted. If you have the pay, if you have, I do not. Antitrust regulators at the Department of Justice appeared unsatisfied with the agreement struck between NAR and the plaintiffs in the commission lawsuit out in Kansas City, with the DOJ lawyer saying explicitly that they do not want any offers of compensation made by seller agents to buyer agents. Oh, well, this is what we've been saying. The NAR settlement is a trap. The NAR settlement is a trap. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Oh, trying to run a business here. Let me turn that down here. There we go. The NAR settlement is a trap. That's why, if you look at the Yahoo coverage, Yahoo Finance, Brooke Hahn, the status hearing on Tuesday, a lawyer for the Department of Justice said that they are not taking a stand one way or the other on the NAR settlement. However, during her remarks, she noticed or noted that they might file a statement of interest on that sometime in October, if they do at all. Because as I mentioned, I believe that the Department of Justice has chosen its battlefield. And the battlefield is the NAR settlement. The battlefield is the MLS PIN, NOSELEC settlement. Everyone's focused on the NAR thing out of Kansas City. And they're not focused on the relatively smaller MLS PIN, NOSELEC case out of Boston. Because the dollar amounts are ridiculously different. I mean, Boston dollar amount, I think, is like $3 million. And someone checked me on the dollar amount out in Kansas City, hundreds of millions, right? So, but the rules package is effectively the same, even though technically NAR is not a party to the MLS PIN NOSELEC case here in Massachusetts. The rules package is effectively the same. Remember, we have effectively still to be reconciled in Massachusetts, 3 potential outcomes. We have the door number 1, door number 2, door number 3. You've shown me, if you've watched some of my videos, you've seen this graphic before. The preliminary settlement last year would allow cooperation on the MLS, but you could offer as low as $0. That's the most lenient. Then there's the NAR settlement, which means you can cooperate, but you got to do it off MLS. And then there's the DOJ letter from February 15th that says no cooperation, that you have to decouple. Or as Real Estate News said the other day, to make it consumer-centric, which is kind of an interesting way to phrase it, to make it consumer-centric. So if you're not following here, what is clearly happening is the DOJ is kind of winking and saying, hey, you people, the NAR settlement is a trap. We're not going to take a position on it one way or the other, because you know what? We don't have to. We've got this NOSELEC settlement that's faster, that's moving quicker, right? It's moving quick. They've already filed their letter in NOSELEC. They don't have to file a letter until October in the NAR settlement, and they probably are fairly confident that they can persuade Judge Patti Saris in Boston to their point of view, which is going to prohibit the sharing of commissions anywhere. By the way, the next hearing is June 21st. I put it in my calendar because I can easily get there. And in fact, I was actually in Boston on Tuesday, in the same neighborhood, believe it, in the Seaport. I was only like a half a mile from the courthouse. I could have attended this thing. I will go on the 21st. I will go myself. And I'll do like a live or something from outside the courthouse or whatever, assuming there's something to report. So I'm going to put that on I already put it on my calendar, but I'll have to double check to make sure it happens. So when you go back to the DOJ letter from February, here we go, from February, and you read by MLS participants, and then the NAR settlement changed that to be off MLS, they read what they wanted to read is basically the way I think about it. When you scroll down to page 22, and we've covered this on other videos, but the Department of Justice makes it very clear what the solution should be. If a buyer requests in an offer that the seller pay her broker from the proceeds of the home sale, it would be straightforward for the seller to compare offers that include a request for the seller, not the agency, for the seller to pay the buyer's broker. A seller only has to compare dollar amounts. This type of conditional offer is already permitted under federal government programs. The answer, my friends, is written on the subway walls, right? Isn't that how the song goes? The answer, my friends, is written on the DOJ letter, right? The answer is written right there in the DOJ letter. Why doesn't anybody read these things? Am I the only one? Let's see if we have any comments today. We do not have any comments today. And yeah, so if you want to throw in a comment, go right ahead. You'll probably get it read by me. I swear I'm gonna make this other video about social media, but I had to bring you this news because, of course, whenever I'm right, I always want to bring it to you as fast as possible. NAR continues to battle the Department of Justice. Why am I having so trouble? That's better. NAR continues its battle to keep the DOJ case closed. So I didn't mention this yesterday. I wanted to, but NAR is basically appealing a recent appeals court decision. They're asking them to reconsider it because the Department of Justice recently won the ability to reopen its investigation against NAR. It has not decided to take advantage of that yet, but they now have that ability, except for now NAR's appealing that. And so there's a number of different legal battles going on at the same time. I think the three of them that are the most important for you to kind of keep track of is, one, the NAR settlement in the Bombshell Commission lawsuit out of Kansas City. Two, the No-Select MLS pin case here in Boston. You guys know I'm from Plymouth. I live in Plymouth, broadcasting to you live from America's hometown here. And three, the potential DOJ investigation into NAR, which continues to be kind of a battle between the two of them and whether or not that can be reopened. So when you look deeper into these comments, at Leal's request, Judge Saris, who is overseeing the No-Select set the new hearing for June 21st, a week after the deadline for non-Realtor Association affiliated MLS to opt out of the NAR settlement. I'm not a lawyer, as you know, too smart to go to law school, so I can't possibly understand that implication. But Yahoo and probably Reese Media, who originally published this, I think, there's probably some significance to that coincidence that the deadline is after non-Realtor Association affiliated MLSs can opt in or out to the settlement. Additionally, MLS PIN plaintiffs have until Friday to file their official DOJ responses, because I thought that was going to be the next big shoe to drop. The plaintiffs in the MLS PIN case get to respond to the Department of Justice, and those are due on Friday. Those are due on Friday. In fact, yesterday's video, I told you we'd probably cover some of that next week, which I still intend to do, assuming I can get access to them through the archaic federal court system website thingy, it's just a joke. Okay, no comments so far. But if you're getting the sense, if you add in what Mr. Miller from T360 in Real Estate News said earlier this week, if you're adding in what Mr. DeWiggins said earlier this week, if you're adding in what the Department of Justice lawyer said earlier, and if you're adding in what I've been telling you for months, then you might start to think that the rules package as proposed through the NAR settlement might not be the final rules package. I've been telling you for months that that's not going to stick. In fact, what seems to be, at least right now, the safest and less liability, the lower liability. Remember, as a broker, if you run an agency, your job effectively is to mitigate liability, right? And when you mitigate liability, it usually means that you're on the path of righteousness, so to speak. And that means you're also doing the right thing by your agents, by your consumers. So when you're mitigating liability, and you look at this current situation the way it is now, you've got to say that the safest route to protect you in your brokerage is to no longer offer compensation to another agency. Typically it's offered from the list agency to the buyer side agency. The safest route right now clearly is to no longer offer that. But you could allow, as the Department of Justice describes on page 21 of their February 15th Department of Justice letter of interest, statement of interest, you could allow the buyer to request, as we already covered earlier in this video, and we'll link that. You could allow the buyer to request that the seller pay it, and that would be consistent with current federal loan guidelines. You've got to understand what they're telling you. The NAR settlement is a trap. I made that video on Tuesday, and the Department of Justice attorney said the same thing the very same day. Let's listen up, folks. Any comments here? We have one. Let's talk to William. How are you doing, William? Good to hear from you. Thanks for staying on top. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I didn't know I'd be making 2 videos on this topic 2 days in a row, but thank you for watching. Appreciate it. I will bring you this other video, which I was very excited to bring to you. We'll try to bring that to you tomorrow. All right. Until then, appreciate your comment, William. Thank you so much. Have a great day and go make some money. All right. Bye-bye.